Turn down the lights, grab your snacks and drinks, and get comfortable. I've got 14 horror movies on Netflix that you're going to want to see. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give you 14 horror movies off Netflix that you might have missed. But first, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and click the notification bell so you're alerted to the new videos I upload every Friday. Most of us have seen Freddy and Jason, Would You Rather, As Above, So Below, Sinister, etc. So I put together a list of movies I think you should watch that are in no particular order, so let's get into this list. To start out the list, we have Demonic. This movie came out in 2015 and is rated R. Frank is a detective that's trying to piece together events from a murder scene. According to the only living witness, John, it was the house that did it. And 2 people are now missing. It just so happens that this house has a sordid and murderous past. The movie, it jumps back and forth between time to explain the story. John and a small group of friends go to the home where infamous murders took place to hold a seance and get some answers. Now that they've let themselves inside, the house has come alive and most of them will not be leaving. Jump scares, twist, and a surprise ending. Demonic is a fun and wicked first entry to this list. I think horror fans will be pleasantly surprised. Number 2 is Temple. This movie came out in 2017 and is rated TVMA. Katie, Chris, and James are 3 tourists that have it in their heads to go visit this temple, and it sits deep, high up in the mountains above Tokyo. It's one of those movies, y'all. They're gonna do all this traveling to get there and have problems. We already know. Come on, let's go. This isn't an all-out horror, rather a very suspenseful thriller that keeps you on edge, trying to figure out what is around the corner, what is that noise that they keep hearing, and what in the world is watching them in the dark. Finally, towards the end, by flashlight, you get to see what they see. It's all these sharp teeth, long pointed fingernails. Honey, it's not good. Turn the lights off and stay in the dark. Definitely a slow burn and interesting. It did get tense watching them get trapped inside of this temple and realizing. Number 3 is The Monster. This movie came out in 2016 and is rated R. A mother who's kind of checked out of her parental role takes her daughter on a last-minute road trip. She's taking her daughter to meet and stay with her father when they get into an accident. Now they're stranded in their car and it's storming, and help arrives a little too late. Little do they know, they've been in danger. This is another movie that's going to jump back and forth through time to tell the story. This mother and daughter aren't getting along and have no idea of the horror that awaits. Something is lurking and stalking them from the darkness beyond the trees. Being on a back road with no one else coming, they must stay alert and smart, because whatever this creature is, it's relentless and will not stop hunting them. I really enjoyed this one. It was an interesting watch, and it was neat to see how they were going to fix the dynamic between the mother and daughter as they were caught in this type of situation. Number 4 is 1922. This movie came out in 2017 and is rated TVMA. Thomas Jane is a farmer back in 1922 who's at odds with his wife, who's just inherited a farm. No longer in love with each other. The wife wants a divorce, and she wants to sell the farm and take their son with her and leave. Well, now that's just not going to work. He starts to turn his son against his mother, and together they devise a plan to kill her. He does whatever he can to sway his son so that he will help him get rid of her and keep the secret. We have a suspense thriller, borderline horror here that plays like the good read it derives from. It's eerie and creepy on a whole different level as we watch him try to cover up her murder and get away with it without any consequences, except the fate that he's been dealt might do him in before the law. I really enjoyed it, and I think other horror fans will too, especially because it was adapted from Stephen King. Number 5 is Malicious. This movie came out in 2018 and is rated TVMA. They move into a new house for her husband's job, and upon arrival, they receive a present from her sister. A box that doesn't open. No big deal. Soon after receiving the gift, the wife suffers a miscarriage and is told she can no longer have children. She's seeing children in her home, making her think she's either grieving or something is horribly wrong. The movie doesn't make it obvious whether this is a haunted house or a possession horror. But one thing is for sure, it is creepy, tense, and grips you from start to finish. Now that he's experiencing the same things as his wife, the couple calls in an expert from the university to help. They set up their equipment to record, kind of like in that movie Insidious. But as soon as they started to hear the children running around playing upstairs, I was like, pack up your stuff, let's go. That's it. Yeah, this one was good. Number 6 is Truth or Dare. This movie came out in 2017 and is rated TV-MA. I clicked on this movie thinking it was a different Truth or Dare movie, but this one turned out to be really good. A group of friends rent a house that was the site of several murders back in the 80s. They're curious, did the house really cause people to kill themselves, or is it a hoax? Well, let's play Truth or Dare and find out. The house locks them in and the game begins. If you don't do the dare will get you. You can't escape the game or avoid telling the truth. The game always wins. Having figured out how to get out of the house, the group figures they've beat it, and that's it. I love a horror movie, and this one was good. Think of the movie Would You Rather? This one definitely goes there. Number 7 is Don't Knock Twice. This movie came out in 2016 and is rated R. Okay, so I had to have at least one on the list. Come on and bring it, Teen Scream. What you got? You knock once to raise her from her bed and twice to raise her from the dead. And Chloe did just that. See, in horror movies, we love the smart people. Not wanting to take any chances, just in case a witch is now after her, Chloe retreats to her mother's home to get some distance and protection. Unfortunately, whatever she disturbed at the door that night can't be gotten rid of so easily. Yes, Chloe's trying to stay alive and dodge this witch, but this movie is also about her and her mother and their personal relationship and trying to fix it. This one really got me, y'all. I thought it was going to be sillier than it was, but as it turns out, this one wasn't too bad. Another teen scream makes the list. Number 8 is Kristy. This movie came out in 2013 and is rated TV-MA. Oh, college life. The freedom, the friends, the good times, the life. Unless your name is Kristy. In that case, you're running and crying and screaming for your life. You want a perfect scenario to get yourself killed in college? This is it. Go ahead and have to stay at school during a holiday break by yourself. Everyone is gone. The campus is closed down, and here you are running around. This is a horror movie. It's only a matter of time before you get killed. Come on, stop it. She's been all over the campus, swimming, studying, roaming the halls. She knows her surroundings very well. So when she's ambushed and subsequently stalked, she has the upper hand. She just needs to stay calm and think about her every move if she's going to outsmart and beat these killers at their own game. Ooh, this movie made me nervous. It is nerve-wracking when people play games like this. You don't know where they are, but they see you. Fun and full of tension. If you like horror, watch this one. Number 9 is Amy. This movie came out in 2019 and is rated TV-MA. Artificial matching intelligence. Cassie's mother passed away, and she's been a little lost since her death. Out and about one day, she comes across a phone that's got some sort of app or Siri or Alexa that's been put on it. As soon as the phone was like, "Hey girl, do you need a friend?" And she was like, "Well, yes. Will you be my mother?" Y'all, I'm done. Yes. See, as a horror fan, this is the type of dumbness right here. This is the type of ridiculousness that y'all are gonna wanna watch while home. Mother doesn't trust him and knows he cheated. Get rid of him. Mother believes your friend isn't really your friend. Get rid of her. If you hurt Cassie or try to separate her from Mother, watch out, because Mother's influence is starting to turn Cassie into a murderer. Next up is Mara. This movie came out in 2017 and is rated TV-MA. A criminal psychologist is trying to figure out if a woman murdered her husband or if the act was committed by a demon named Mara. See, Mara causes sleep paralysis and then death. If ever it's happened to you, then you get the terror someone feels when they experience this type of paralysis. And now Dr. Fuller has been marked for death by this demon and is running out of time to not only save a family, but also herself. This is an entertaining movie, but don't go expecting a whole lot. It's slow at times, but this is a good mystery horror that's something like Lights Out or Mama. Number 11 is Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. This movie came out in 2010 and is rated R. A little girl is sent to live with her father and his new girlfriend as they renovate an old stately mansion in the country. Soon after she arrives, the family finds an entrance to a basement that they never knew existed. Unbeknownst to them, there is a sealed entrance down in this basement that leads to something evil. This movie feels like something like Gremlins, Critters, or Ghoulies. Being a child, Sally didn't know what opening the door meant. Now these things are out and they stalk her throughout the home. They torment her every time the lights go out, and they bide their time for the perfect opportunity to snatch her away. I've seen this movie several times. It's so fun. Let me tell you, these things are nasty. There are some suspenseful, scary scenes in this one, but it's not graphic or brutal or anything like that. Very entertaining, but you better check those corners before you go to bed. Number 12 is Legion. This movie came out in 2010 and is rated R. Dennis Quaid, Charles Dutton, Tyrese Gibson, and more form a crew of strangers in this horror fantasy. They come together to survive angels and an extermination that's coming to Earth. They're coming to try to stop a woman from having what they believe is the Messiah. One after one, they just keep coming. They've been sent to Earth to wipe the slate clean, to help everything start over. You see, mankind has messed up one too many times. And now this woman, the one who's meant to have the Messiah, must not be allowed to have her baby. The only hope is the angel Michael, who's now come down to Earth to try and help and save the world. Full of action, this horror finds mankind fighting back. An angel, Michael, he comes to help because he believes that the world deserves another chance and loves creation as his own. He stops at nothing trying to prevent an apocalypse, knowing her baby is the answer the world needs. Number 13 is Saint Agatha. This movie came out in 2018 and is rated TVMA. A young unmarried mother, Mary, runs away to a convent to escape her abusive father and have her baby. Right away, she realizes she made a mistake and she wants to leave. As the movie goes on, it will flash back and forth to show you the missing pieces of her story. Something is horribly wrong here. It's obvious that the nuns have some sort of twisted agenda, as she now finds herself in a box, being force-fed and mentally tormented, but she needs to figure out for what purpose. These women are scary. They put her in a coffin. Watching this movie made me kind of uneasy. The way that it's shot, the lighting, or lack thereof, helps contribute to the sinister and insidious feeling that builds throughout the first half of the movie. For my last movie on the list, he's back. And for the last movie on my list, I have 14 Cameras. This movie came out in 2018 and is rated TVMA. A creepy, nasty, highly inappropriate, voyeuristic landlord has done it again. Except this time, everything is going down at his vacation property. Once again, he's got unsuspecting renters that are now being stalked through the 14 cameras he has hidden throughout his residence. Anyone ever stay at an Airbnb? And just like in 13 Cameras, he's not just watching. He's entering the property, using and touching their things, and he's also got something horrific planned for a few of the guests. This sequel has a few extras that the first movie didn't have. It picks up where the first one left off, as well as he's appeared to have upped his game because he is live streaming a feed from the 14 cameras in his house to the dark web. And apparently he's taking requests. 13 Cameras was good, but 14 Cameras is a horror sequel that you probably missed and should definitely see. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to my channel. If you hadn't had an opportunity to like and subscribe, please take the time to go ahead and do that, because I will be back next Friday with a new list for Prime Video. Bye-bye.